Well, it's a place, I think historically, the tailings in this county used to just go in the river, and I think the Mayflower was the first to start using tailings ponds, Shenandoah dives. So they store the crushed up rock, waste rock. The minerals actually goes to the smelter, but the crushed up waste rock is stored to keep it out of the rivers and things. Water quality, that was one of the advances in environmental protection, was to not put all the waste rock in the river. I think the management even evolves. It become a social license to operate to, as rules evolve, then you learn to comply with the rules. Because I don't think anything bad or good. Nobody was trying to break any rules by discharging water that wasn't treated. I think the science evolved in my time period of working. I don't think any mine in the United States treated water prior to 75. And then after 75 with the Clean Water Act, to comply with the rules, you put in place the systems to meet the rules.
They took a fellow, he was really, we used to have a lot of hippies that worked on the tailings pond. That was a great place. People like that. It was very laid back. Nobody bothered you. And you had to direct the sand into the dam and the slurry into the pond, and it was quite relaxing. And one of those guys had a college degree in forestry management or something. His name was Bill Dotterer. And Standard made him the first environmental guy for the company, and he was trying to figure out how to make grass grow on these 1930s tailings piles that were, like white quartz. And so anyway, and one of the last mine I worked at, I think we had the environmental department had 14 people in it. So you just didn't, there were just things you didn't have to do back in earlier days. So really we're seeing you can see I'm at the transition point here. MSHA had just started in 1976. The reclamation permits were issued in 77. The discharge permits were issued in 1978. So I was right on the beginning of a more intense regulatory environment for the mining industry, and Silverton in particular.
The Clean Water Act started about 75 or so, but I don't think the Sunnyside Mine or Standard Metals didn't have to do anything until Lake Emma, and that's when they started treating water. So it evolved with treating water that come out.
When the mine was going to shut down the Sunnyside, they had a reclamation crew, and they asked if I would be interested in getting on that crew. So I left the mill before it shut down and got on the reclamation crew. And from there, I ended up going up to the mine and working at the mine from 92 till 98. And the first year worked outside and operated the lime water treatment plant. We treated the water that came out of the Sunnyside. And then after that, I went underground in the winter months to do mine closure. We're putting the bulkheads in and stuff like that.
We made all the bulkheads that were underground, and so wintertime we'd be underground, carrying stuff out and doing bulkheads that shut off all the water. Anywhere there could be water come out, we plugged it. Then summertime we go out and work on.
We got done with that project. I came down and worked on Pond 4 and Pond 3, putting all the caps on there and doing all the sloping that is behind what is now the transfer station and all that. I'd done most of that dozer work for, at that time it was Echo Bay. So I stood with them till 1998.
Alan Bird came in to see the new water laboratory, which was really just kind of one big room, wasn't that big, but you know, it was all fancy stainless steel and you know, little electronic things and testing things, and we were all proud about it, you know, and because there was a couple other, the environmental guy got trained on testing and as well as I did, and he says, well, you know, this is all fine, but I'll tell you, you know, they're going to make us have distilled water coming out of these mines someday, and we all laughed because you know that was such a good joke. But you know, in my later career, I was running double pass reverse osmosis water treatment plants, making equivalent distilled water and discharging it at a mine in Washington State, and built several other plants. So his prediction from early 1978 came true. We do have distilled water coming out of some of these mines, or almost the equivalent.